Welcome back, everybody. This is going to be episode 17 of my Transport Fever series. Now, I realize it's been quite a while since the last episode, and I had put out that little video showing off Dirt 4 a few weeks ago, and then now it's taken me another couple weeks to get this video out. And I am sorry for how long it's been since the last Transport Fever episode, but I've had quite a few things going on in my life, and I'm just going to get into a little bit in this video while you watch the time-lapse. So feel free to tune me out or whatever if you want and just watch what's going on, but I'm just going to let you guys know kind of what's going on with the channel and what I guess you can probably expect in the future. So the biggest reason why I have had such a hiatus from making videos is that I'm moving in just a couple weeks now. Actually, I think it's right about 2 weeks from now. But yeah, so I'm going to be moving, and there's just a lot of stuff that I have to do to get ready for the move. Getting stuff packed up from where I am now, getting stuff set up for the new place. I actually had to get a lot of furniture for the new place because most of the stuff I have here is not mine. So I couldn't take it with me, so I had to shop around for a bunch of stuff. I went to thrift stores, things like that, trying to be cheap. I don't have that much money to buy like brand new furniture or anything, but yeah, so got some pretty good deals at thrift shops actually around where I live. But it just takes a lot of time to do that type of stuff. And then on top of that, I'm also looking for a new job. So I've been doing interviews, applying for places, stuff like that. And again, it's just pretty time intensive. So yeah, just haven't had much time to get on and do things. And then finally, I've also started working towards a network certification if any of you guys might be in the field. I'm going for my Cisco certification of CCENT as I work towards my CCNA so I can get into the field. Pretty important little certifications, but pretty much from what I've seen, places kind of tell you to budget for about 4 to 6 hours a day for studying for anywhere from 3 to 6 months. So yeah, I've kind of been hitting that kind of hard at the same time as all this other stuff. So I've really just had basically no time to mess around with Transport Fever or really anything else. I've actually not played hardly any video games for the past month and a half now. And I'm hoping to get back in and do at least a little bit once I get moved into the new place. So probably don't expect too much coming out in the next 2 to 3 weeks, maybe even the next month. Really hoping I can get a job in, and then who knows what kind of schedule I have once I get that. But yeah, so I mean, things are kind of looking up for me in like my career-wise, but not so much maybe for YouTube. But I still enjoy these games, and I definitely want to play them, especially Transport Fever. So hopefully I can do something and get stuff out on YouTube for you guys that are interested. But yeah, I just kind of wanted to let you guys know what was going on with me and why it's been so long since the last episodes. But yeah, so in this episode, I'm basically working on the, what are we calling this? The east side of the map, I think. Yeah, so we're clear over on the east side of the map now. I've kind of got the west side set up for right now. It's running along smoothly. And I want to start trying to get some of the east side built up now. Since I've not touched them hardly at all, even with some bus lines, they've not really grown, which is kind of good and kind of bad. It's nice that they've not grown up yet, so that as I'm putting in these rail lines and things, there's not a whole lot to destroy yet. But also being smaller means that I'm not going to have very profitable routes on them right now. So yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and put in some rail lines and then some bus lines to start growing the cities. Because I can't really afford some trains right now, even though I'm putting in the rail lines. I can't afford to put a train on them, either passenger or cargo. So those are just gonna sit unused for a few in-game years until I can get the money for those. And then I do want to start making my way towards connecting up the west and east sides of the map. And as I've said before, there's going to be a huge transfer yard in Rumford. But that's going to take quite a bit of money and quite a bit of planning and landscaping to get that in. I kind of have a general idea of how I want to do it, but that's definitely going to be a few episodes down the road. Now, as you can see what I'm doing here, there's not really enough room to get train stations into these two towns here up in the mountains. I can't remember the names right off. But yeah, so there's not really enough room to put dedicated train stations in either of the towns, and it would also kind of limit the growth area for those towns. So I'm actually going to compromise and put a large depot area, or train like yard, I guess you want to call it, in between the two towns, and then use trucks and passenger lines to sort of feed those two towns off of the train yard here. Now, it's not going to be anything too crazy big, like the $200 million transfer yard that I had set up, but it is going to be, big enough for cargo and passenger trains to come in. And actually what you're seeing right here is not the final iteration of this train yard. I kind of went with just this one-piece station, but then I completely forgot that I need a place for the passenger trains to stop. So I'll be back to this in a little bit later in the episode to switch it out. And I end up going with a separate freight and passenger station with a pass-through line between them. It's not super great, but it'll get the job done. And you'll see that just a little bit later in the episode. So the reason that I put all those trees around that quarry right there, and also there's another industry just along the river further to the south here. But the reason I put a whole bunch of trees around it is I'm trying to make it look overgrown and unused. Because at least for now, I'm not going to be using this quarry at all. I had to look around the map, and there's really no construction material factories sort of in a way that would be conducive to using this quarry. Now later on I may reopen it and do something with it and put some stone onto the freight trains coming out of whatever town this is up on the hill. I can't remember right now. But yeah, I might use it later. It'll really just depend on how we have the freight line set up. But for now, I'm just trying to make it look used and or overgrown and unused. And I think it looked kind of cool. I may come back and change it up some more later on, but who knows. But then coming back up to the top of the hill, I ended up using this combination station where I've got the above ground and underground tracks. So my thought process was I want to have the above ground tracks act as the passenger station, and then the underground tracks would be for freight. That way it's just like the freight trains are kind of out of the way of the passenger station, but I don't have to have a separate station for it. And I really like the underground stuff in this game, so yeah, I just kind of set it up that way. But it ended up being a huge pain trying to get the underground tracks to merge back up to the above ground tracks. I probably should have spaced the tracks out a little bit longer and had a more gradual split off between the two. But yeah, I wasted a lot of time trying to get the underground track to come up and then switch over onto the normal track. So I pretty much just skipped over all that, which you'll see me basically skipping all that. But whatever, it was really boring and a massive waste of my time. But I eventually got it all set up, and it's okay. May come back later on and mess with it a little bit more, but who knows. Okay, so now we have this train station put in, and we've got this little parking area and little road areas for our electric trams to go around. And yeah, I'm actually going to try and use the electric trams for this city. It's kind of going to be my test city, I think, to see how well they work. I'd like to put some trams into the other cities because they're bigger and they would benefit, I think, from them more. But I'm not really sure how much I am going to like them. I really like just having the buses and upgrading the roads later to have dedicated bus lanes. But I do like the trams. They're really cool to look at. And like I said, they would be pretty good for the bigger cities. But I think I'm just going to play around with them in this town for right now. Once we get more money later on, I might try to put them into the other cities. But yeah, now that we've got this done, that is pretty much going to do it for this episode. Hopefully you liked it. If you did, hit that like button, subscribe if you want to, share this with your friends, and I'll catch all of you in the next video.